Hey everybody, it's Paul Johnson here with another time-lapse animation from my upcoming 5th short film called 65 Million Years Ago, about how the dinosaurs destroyed the Earth. This section here is where the band Atomic Noise bursts into the bunker intent on putting a stop to the toxic waste storage issues that plagued our planet in the time of the dinosaurs. Few people seem to know about this, so I figured it was time that the true story of how the dinosaurs died out was really told. As you can see here, I'm finishing up the roughs in TV paint for a run cycle on my Triceratops character. It's a different Triceratops character than was in the bar. This one's more of a social activist, the other one was just more of a social drinker. And this guy is going to toss away, let's just say, the dinosaur that's manning the computer right now that this guy needs to do his job. Now moving on to the cleanups. So cleanup is it's a different mindset than the roughs. So the roughs is about getting some ideas out, experimenting, getting the smoothness of the animation that you're going to need, and not worrying too much about the individual lines. Just getting the rough idea down. But now with and you can see that I'm redoing some of the roughs, I forgot to add the tails on there. Now that I'm onto the cleans, it's a balance between the smoothness and the drawing before and after, and creating an appealing drawing. It's a duality of mind that's tricky to keep flipping between, and I found that it's become easier and easier the more I animate it. We all want beautiful drawings, but they can't, or they shouldn't, I think, come at the cost of smooth motion. I'm drawing the legs there. Yeah, redrawing the legs just to get more contrast from one step to the other. When I was doing the face especially, I was taking great pains to make sure that there was negative space around the eyes and making sure the eye direction kept consistent. It's one thing that I see a lot, especially in 3D films, is the eye direction is really ambiguous, and most of the time it's just so well rendered and lit that we don't even know that much. But if the eye direction is really solid and really helping us see clearly what the character is feeling, everything else just falls into place so much more easily. You can see that I'm flipping a lot as well as rotating the canvas. Rotating the disc in TV Paint is super easy, and it just makes it so that you can go with your natural inclination of your arm, rotating from your shoulder, rotating from the elbow, rotating from the wrist, rotating the fingers, and just use the curves that are naturally inherent in your body. Now I'm onto the fills. So I painted the background fully behind the character's lines, and then I delete the color around the character so that the character's already filled. Sometimes people try and fill the characters bit by bit, and that's I find that just too time consuming. It helps that I'm using very few colors here, but yeah, TV Paint is great for making it easy to color things. So you can see now I'm going and I'm starting to add the tones on. The coloring was actually pretty quick, but the tones take a little bit longer. There's it's a consistency, and I could have roughed out the tones, I suppose, and sometimes that's how it's done. But in this case, I'd rather just be flipping the drawings and just looking at the tones on each drawing. And again, I'm balancing how the tones on that individual frame look, trying to create some good shapes around the back of the legs there, and also making sure that it's not popping from one frame to the next, because it doesn't matter how beautiful it looks. If it's going to pop, it's just going to be distracting. Working on the upper arm there, you can see I'm putting a shadow behind the hand just to give a sense of depth between the hand and the body. It's a small thing, but I think that it helps sell the idea that this is, it isn't just two-dimensional. It isn't a two-dimensional drawing, even though it is, obviously. The sense that it has depth is important, and that's the whole point of the tones. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and draw tones on for a couple hours if I don't need to. This whole process took about 4 hours, condensed down to 6 minutes here. So you're watching this at about 40 times the speed. And so I probably spent good hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes on these tones. You can see I'm moved on to the eyes now. Put a little bit of a highlight onto the eyes. 30% black, that layer, it'll also mean I'll do 30% white there. But onto the teeth, where the mouth is casting the shadow, onto the lower lip. Fixing some horn stuff, a little bit of a cast shadow for the horn there. Flipping through, adding to the tail, seeing how it all looks. Seeing how it looks in context with the background, that feels pretty good. One thing I'm missing though is a ground shadow, so I'm going to make sure that the character feels like it's in contact with the ground. This is especially important to cover up the perspective cheat that I did on the lower arm there, because you can see that it's definitely cheated towards us. So that's a little bit of insight into the process for my most recent short. I should be finished by about January 2018 or so. I'm 209 hours into it. Thanks for checking it out. You can see more videos at vimeo.com/xon. That's vimeo.com/xon. Happy animating, and feel free to drop me a line, leave some comments. Thanks a lot.